Hi, my name is Sumaya Reddy, and I'm here with my team members to pitch you some great ideas on how to make online learning fun, engaging, and talk about various ways to improve online learning in general. The part I'm going to talk about is how to make online learning engaging for students. One of the most effective ways to make online learning engaging for students is through the introduction of various forms of multimedias. So, what are multimedias? Multimedias include PowerPoint slides and videos, but not only that, not only limited to that, but they also include 3D simulations and interactive textbooks. Thus, the addition of multimedias could actually engage students in learning and improve their learning to a greater degree. Since learning in primary school and public schools in general uses a blended approach, which means they focus on a physical aspect of learning and bits of online learning, the focus isn't necessarily on how to improve online learning, which could become a barrier to students if not given enough attention. So, if online learning is not engaging, students are not really going to learn much through the online aspects of learning. And to improve that, the addition of multimedias is a necessity. In a study performed in 2009 using a first year psychology class, it was discovered that various forms of multimedias being introduced to students helped their learning in general and made them more motivated and engaged. So at first, the students had no multimedia. Later on, PowerPoint slides were introduced and videos were introduced weekly. And later on, a PowerPoint that is video narrated by the professor was given to them. And the next form of multimedia was the addition of a video that goes deeper into the things being taught in school, but that is beyond what has already been taught. And it has shown that these forms of multimedia being added gradually increased the engagement to a very higher level. And the whole experiment was supported by the idea of cognitive theory of multimedia, which supports the idea that learning is actually better through words and visual aids rather than having words alone. Therefore, if the government of Ontario invests in interactive textbooks that not only have visual aids but they also have videos to further explain the topic being taught, students will get both a visual and an audio aid to help them learn and make learning more engaging, fun, and easy for them. So it is also suggested that these textbooks could include 3D simulations that would help them visualize the topic and include images that are more interactive so students could approach the learning in a fun way. So the 3D technologies could be very helpful in a way to explain the topic, such as chemistry and biology, topics in chemistry and biology. For example, the molecule structure and organ systems could be visualized through 3D modeling within the textbook. That would help the students actually get an idea of what they're learning and enhance learning. Overall, the government of Ontario should really focus on adding multimedia sources that includes interactive online textbooks and also encouraging teachers to include PowerPoint slides and videos and other forms of like visual aids to help students learn to a very high level, a high degree. Thus, the main approach to do that is to investing in interactive textbooks. And within these textbooks, news articles and relevant news and information could be pasted on that relates to what's being taught, so students could actually feel like what they're learning is actually relevant and feel really like proud of what they're learning and apply it to the real world. Thus, these whole interactive textbooks not only like explain everything to a greater degree, make learning easy, but also have a great part in making learning very effective and engaging, especially when it comes to online learning. Along with interactive textbooks, learning could be made engaging through the idea of gamification. So, what is gamification? Gamification is an idea which really focuses on applying principles of gaming, such as having like badges, leaderboards, and etc., to other non gaming areas, which could be education in this example. According to the self-determination theory, which states that the highest form of motivation is associated with activities that are done for pleasure and satisfaction, the behavior is especially motivational if students do it for their own sake instead of completing the work as a duty. Thus, if we make learning into a gaming style approach, the students will love to do that and will feel more motivated to learn in general and feel more engaged. In a study performed, students were presented with online gaming style assessments and were given badges according to their progress. And for example, a student was given an expert badge for being proactive and completing their pre-module quizzes. And according to the results, 57% of the students felt intrinsically motivated, which means that they felt the motivation from within themselves without needing any other sources of motivation externally. They felt the need to do it for themselves to feel happy, and they felt more engaged in doing so. This type of gamification is also been used in commercial industry, such as the Nike e-commerce software that uses gamification approach to help their customers build their own shoe designs, and it has been very effective. Thus, if the idea of gamification is applied to e-learning, it could have huge benefits for students in terms of feeling more motivated to learn online. So how do we incorporate this idea of gamification? Gamifying e-learning could be done through websites and applications. To fully make gamification effective, we gotta understand the key components of gamifying something. First, we need to create some form of gaming mechanics, which are basically a set of rules that govern gameplay, which includes progression, feedback, which are a necessity not only to gameplay but to make e-learning into gameplay. So this could be done through the addition of levels and leaderboards and challenges. Therefore, an application must be created to not only help students learn, but to make e-learning a fun task for students that they would love and engage in for a long time. There are multiple benefits, therefore, to investing in an application that helps students this way. This whole idea of gamification must be applied to a set of rules to make gamification most effective in terms of e-learning. So the basic principles that should be applied to gamifying learning are here as follows. The first principle is to divide the course into main chapters or sections, and the content should be presented in a way that it is precise and it's very effective in order to keep the attention span of students. And there should be links that are provided and videos that go in depth into learning when needed to explain the topics in greater depth. Students should later be given exercises at the end of each sections that accumulate points in order for students to move on to a higher level in the next section. And the relative progress of students should be compared to their peers and should be presented on a leaderboard, which will act as a source of motivation for students to always do their work on time, to compete with their peers, to try to get to the best possible position as possible. And the students must also be offered feedback and should also be shown their progression through the course through the progression bars. The system should be as social as possible in order to make e-learning feel as if it's a natural way of learning that would be done in a social environment such as a classroom. And the system should also offer badges for students helping other students, thus creating a more social environment for them, and also help them feel as if they have people around them and feel more social in an e-learning platform. Thus, the badges should be converted to also valuable compensation such as candy or valuable school supplies. This form of reward isn't very expensive, but getting recognition for their work will through rewards will actually make them feel very happy and also contribute to the motivation to a higher level when it comes to e-learning. In conclusion, there are many ways to motivate students, but through the sources mentioned in this video, students could be motivated to a personal level, especially in terms of gamification of e-learning. But in addition, students should also feel very happy as they're learning through many different multimedia, such as in the interactive textbooks. They will get 3D models, they'll get more explanation, examples, and they will be able to visualize their learning, making learning overall very effective for students. Thank you so much.